If you've ever driven around town and wondered what is going on at that property, I think a lot of the conversations that we have with our clients is, hey, do you know what's going on?
Constantly.
Yeah. We are going to break down what is happening in the greater Newburyport area development-wise, give you the inside scoop on some of these things, because I think that, like, that's what people want to talk to real estate agents about the most, if they're not buying or selling a property, is like, can you tell me what's going on with that? Because I'm sure you know.
Exactly.
So let's break down to you what the local development news is.
Well, we'll start with the biggies, okay? So,
Yeah.
Port Plaza.
Oh, God. Okay.
The Plaza Landing, Newburyport.
Yeah.
Those plans are finalized, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
212 mixed income rentals on the
Yeah.
old Kmart property, 25% affordable.
Yep.
Biggest building in the city history. I think a lot of people are having an issue with the scale. And the fact that it's historic character, because we all know Port Plaza has incredible historic character.
Is it the
Excuse me?
Is it the asbestos tiles that are?
No, I really like all the concrete and macadam. You know,
Got it.
that really speaks to 1720 to me. Anyway,
I will say, I bet you, I haven't been in there since I was a kid, but I guarantee you that the cafe looks very cool.
the luncheonette.
Yeah, because it was very
Manny
like,
used to go there.
Yeah, very 60s style.
I miss Kmart.
Oh, I do too.
That was the everything store. Anyway.
So the reality is that not much can go there.
Right.
Especially because of Shaw's and their exclusivity contract. So
They all have leases like that in there. So
Right.
To protect them so another supermarket doesn't open next door.
Right. So everyone who has said, well, what about a Trader Joe's? What about a Whole Foods? It can't go there. Not only that.
What about a gym?
There's one across the street. But both companies have also said that the market's too small and they don't have any interest, because Trader Joe's has been inundated. Trust me, I'd love a Trader Joe's in Newburyport too, but the market is just not there to support it in terms of.
It's been there for years. It's been
It's been empty for forever. So I guess the options are, because there's very few commercial things that it could be.
Well, it's so large too. That's
It's
part of the
massive,
issue.
yeah.
You can't really put a gap in there, or you can't, and the demographics don't support it. That kind of
Right.
retail is going away anyway.
Yeah, and you could potentially put a Target, but that would encroach on the problem with the exclusivity for Shaw's. So
That's right.
There's very few things that it could be. Like, I understand the wants and needs of the citizens of Newburyport,
Right.
but the options are keep it vacant, because the cost to renovate it is just too astronomical, and I believe the rent there is pretty high too, whatever they were asking for it.
I'm sure it's a lot, yeah.
It's too large.
It's big.
And what else would you do with it?
Yep.
I've heard some people say turn it into pickleball courts.
Everybody wants pickleball courts
I
everywhere.
know.
This year.
Or like, a trampoline park, like all this stuff. And while I understand the concern for more properties, it's in a pretty commercial location. There aren't a lot of neighborhoods surrounding it. So usually we come up against this objection when it's in a very residential area.
Right.
This is
They're
not.
not in my backyard.
Right.
It's not in anybody's
It's
backyard.
literally not in anyone's backyard, right? So I was shocked to find that people were so upset about this. Well, what about the traffic? The traffic's already terrible. You mean like the 5 cars that pile up at the stoplight next to the 7-Eleven at like 3:00 in the afternoon? Like, this is not right. So, I mean, obviously they're going to have to do their due diligence in terms of parking studies, water runoff, all that stuff. But as far as I know, it's been approved. I heard some weird rumor about a lawsuit on Facebook, but I didn't get the context.
Who knows about
I don't know
that,
I don't know who's suing who, but good luck to them.
Yep. So let's move on to Salisbury Beach. What's going on over there? The dune nourishment seems to be a constant thing that is happening constantly. They do it, then they get money, they do it again, then they get money, do it again. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, that's basically it's eroding. The beach is eroding. And so they have applied for grants and put money into building it back up, which has then just been swept back out to sea.
Right.
And also this is on private property that they're doing this, state intervention in private property, which I think is like the biggest objection for most people. Have you been following the Salisbury stuff? No. Okay. All right. I figured I'd ask you because you live there.
Yeah, no.
And
It's not in your backyard. Just kidding.
so from my understanding, and, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, is that people are mad that we're spending taxpayer money on people's private property.
Makes sense.
To build up the beach that is eroding, and at the same time, allowing more development of the waterfront. Because it's like, well, if we can't support what's there already, why are we putting in these
It's
big
amazing.
new buildings,
You know,
right?
it's amazing. I was down there. We have a listing down there. It's quite beautiful. But
Yeah.
every time I drive to it, I think, where do all these huge buildings come from? We're not talking 2 and 3 units. We're
No.
talking 20, 30 units to the right and the left of you, wherever you go. But
Yeah.
anyway, well, that's to fight another day. Now, what about the Amesbury Elementary School site?
So some of you may know that's on Market Street, right? No.
Southampton Road.
Southampton. So
Yeah,
that's on Southampton Road. It has been closed for a couple years. All of those students, when it closed, went to the new lower, they separated the lower and the upper elementary school, and it's
Yeah.
off of Lions Mouth Road now. So that school closed, and it has just been vacant for, I think, 3 or 4 years now. And the city has said that they would like to have it developed residentially. There is no proposal currently on the table for that, but they're looking to start that process.
It's a question mark for the future.
Right, but I guess the point there is that it's going to be developed.
Yeah.
And it's a big property.
There's a lot of good developers doing work in Amesbury, so I'm
Yeah.
optimistic.
It's funny because I'm just like a, mid-century nerd. So I would love to keep the original building because I think it would be so cool with that like overhang. I know you think it's disposable, but in
No, I don't think it's disposable. I just think that sometimes the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Okay, and we will get to that with something that happened in Newburyport. We can transition into that, but sometimes you're right, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, but I think it would be a very cool looking building if it wasn't probably filled with asbestos and falling apart inside.
Yep.
It would
They're hard to rework. Think of it this way: if it's going to be residential, there's no fresh air, airspace, windows.
Well, you could
in a
replace
whole
those windows with cranks.
I'm just- never mind.
Anyway, so let's talk about the house that's causing all of the drama on Merrimac Street in Newburyport.
Oh my goodness! Yes,
Yeah.
let's talk about that. Okay, so
What's the deal?
here's the deal.
Yeah,
Very old house,
1700s, right?
1700s Georgian period home.
Yep.
Everyone goes by it and says, "What's going on there?" And
Because it's been in disrepair for a number of years.
very, very long time, and it kind of looks like there's dirty curtains hanging in the windows, and it's
Overgrown.
Yeah, all of that. So, what has happened is a local builder, a Caswell Development, has
Yep.
purchased the property.
Yep.
And my understanding is that, first of all, if you look at the front of the building, it's very, as they say in preservation, it's very denatured. So
Right, it doesn't look
the
like-
qualities
yeah.
of a Georgian home are not obvious. They probably are on the inside in some spots, but there was a massive addition put on the back,
Yeah.
and it was, I believe, a two-family.
Yeah.
And it was structurally unsound.
Mm-hmm.
So the city gave them the right to tear it down. So it is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And people just go like, what happened to that? Well, it was not a safe structure. And so
Hmm.
this is the trend that we see. I'm going to go,
Well,
Yeah.
saying that, just for funsies, I went through some the Historic Preservation Society agendas to see what was going on. And there are a lot of people looking for relief for demolition delays.
I'm sure there are.
94 Ferry Road, there's an application by Scott Brown on a bungalow. Yeah, it's like, and look, I get it to a degree, right?
so here's the problem in
Right.
dollars and cents.
Right.
These little old houses that are adorable are probably, if they were on the market and we didn't have the rapid development going on that we have now, they would probably be $725,000 sales. When, for years, people said we can't afford to develop these properties because the finished product was probably worth $1.2 million, $1.3 million.
And you're into it for like 500,000 probably, right?
So yes, $500-600 a square foot.
Yeah.
To do a total rehab, it doesn't make sense. Well, now that we've hit the $2 million mark as not an anomaly, but a regularity, and some three and four,
Yeah.
It makes economic sense. So people are knocking on doors and putting notes in people's mailboxes. And the only thing I have to say about that, if that is what works for the seller, then that's the seller's prerogative. It's their property. We have private property rights. But I would say that 9 times out of 10, if it were to go on the open market, they would get more money.
Well, I mean, I think that a lot of people, what they don't understand is that developers need to get it significantly under market value in order for the numbers to make sense for them. For what, it is what it is. That is,
Well,
it is what it is.
there's a lot of reasons. They're in business, so they want to make a 25% profit. So you just do the math.
Yeah.
What are they paying for it? What's it going to cost them to get there?
Right.
25% profit. They've got to pay a realtor to sell it. And they've got to pay the mortgage company for the 2 years it takes them to do the build out, or 18 months. So,
Right.
there's two sides to every coin.
Yeah.
But on that note, there's a new house. I just got a text the other day about a house going up on Beacon Ave in the
Yes,
South
I
End.
got
We
the
all
same.
know about the big one that sold for 4.15. That was 6,000 square feet.
4.3?
4.15 was the sale price.
4.15, yeah.
$4,150,000. It was 6,000 square feet. The builder's a great builder. He did a beautiful job.
house,
Beautiful
yeah.
job. Basically a new construction home, and I think that's what happened on Beacon. So I got this text. Went over. I took a photo of the house. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
3.5 million. So
Yep.
if they get it, it doesn't look that big to me, but I haven't seen plans or specs or anything like that.
Yeah, it could be a secret 4,000 square foot house or
It
something like that.
could be, and increasingly people are using lower level square footage to
Yeah.
add into their total. So they'll do this fabulous lower level at 1,500 square feet and turn a 3,000 square foot house into a 4,500 square
Right.
foot on paper, right? So in terms of other projects going, you want to talk about the beautiful property we have listed on Federal Street?
Yeah, so in case you hadn't noticed, if you haven't been down Federal Street in a while, 9092 Federal Street, which is behind the one at the corner of High and Federal,
Right.
that is currently on the market, which, by the way, you cannot develop that land behind it.
A deed restriction.
It is in a deed restriction, so if you've looked at that backyard and go, wow, I wonder if I could put another house back there, you cannot, so get that out of your mind. But yes, there's a single-family home there that is going to stay and be completely renovated, and then another townhouse is going next to it. And they're going to be about 2 million each. They're going to have their own yards, I believe, right?
In the 2 millions, we don't have a final number.
Yeah, around 2
They'll
million.
have their own smaller yards.
Yep.
But I got to tell you, this particular builder really knows about historic preservation
Yeah.
and replication.
Yeah.
So the moldings and all of the spaces will be the correct proportions, which is so refreshing.
Yeah.
And then they'll carry some of that detail to the second unit, which is all new construction. So
Yeah,
it's gonna-
which will be they said a little bit more modern, but exterior-wise will work.
They're really working hard with their architect to keep it all in keeping with what is a very cohesive neighborhood in the South End. So
Yeah,
I think
they're
that
gonna
was
be black,
very-
though.
I know.
They're going to be black. And unlike a lot of developers, he has hired a designer, which is so nice for us. On that note, though, same developer, different town, the Knapp property. Here's an update. It's a non-update update, but
Right, West Newbury.
West Newbury. So the Knapp, what would you call it?
It was not the florist, but it was a garden center.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
where we all went to get our perennials. It was the most wonderful
Yep.
little community type of place, and
Yep.
it is unfortunately gone.
Yep, they closed it because they couldn't afford.
Along with Kane's Flower World. What are we going to do?
I know.
Okay.
I hope they keep that sign
It's
at
gone.
Cane's.
I
No.
was there yesterday. It's gone. Anyway.
Me and my nerdy mid-century commercial architecture. I'm
Well,
like, don't destroy it.
You're consistent.
Yeah. So back in April, we had Springtown meeting in West Newbury, and that site was chosen as a potential option for the MBTA communities zone, like multifamily zone. So in West Newbury, we have still not chosen a parcel to be compliant with the MBTA Communities Act. We have to pick one parcel that is going to be multifamily by right. The town, the planning board said, well, why don't we pick a parcel that is already going to be developed, that we know it's going to be developed anyway, and actually that gave them more control over the project, not
Sure.
less. It went to town meeting, it was voted down.
So it's over.
It is not over. They have picked another parcel, which is town-owned now that's usually not allowed because then the town could blockade any kind of development that happens. So it's barred from usually being the case. However, the parcel that they have chosen is already where the affordable housing is in West Newbury, right by Action Cove, behind the city hall.
Right off of Main Street and Bachelor Street, right there.
And on top of that, that parcel they've already kind of talked about developing that parcel, and it's part of their affordable housing production plan. So honestly, I think that this town is kind of painting themselves in the corner with this, because the housing production plan has to be reviewed by the state every 5 years. So if you adopt this parcel, every 5 years, the state's going to go, so why didn't you build anything there? And there could be funding that gets in, whereas if they picked another parcel that wasn't part of the housing production plan, whether it was developed or not, the state wouldn't even be involved in. So,
So they've added another layer of bureaucracy to their process.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people think, well, it's just not going to be developed. But the thing is, but the state's going to be really watching us. So that's what happened with the MBTA. So Knapp was taken off the table.
Okay.
Because of that. But like I said, it's already going to be developed. So I reached out to John Sarkis, who is the developer, and he said currently they're still planning on developing it. They're still, working on the plans. Right now they're doing some environmental cleanup because of just pesticides and stuff that were used
So the
at the
property
forest.
is already transferred.
No, it's under contract.
It's under contract, and this is some of the due diligence work he's doing.
Yeah, and it's been under purchase and sale for quite a while.
Sure.
I want to say over a year.
Yeah.
But that's
What
normal.
it takes.
Yeah, but so he will have renderings in the next month, and I'm assuming he'll probably be going before the planning board at some time before the year is up. So interested to see what that's going to look like, because surprise, everyone, it's still being developed. All right.
And so it'll be a planning board and zoning. It'll have to go through all of that.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a 40B development. He said that he's hoping
A friendly 40.
Yeah, to keep it under the open space initiative, which actually allows him to put more than 40B, because he's going to, portion off a bunch of the land as not developable.
Oh, that's great.
So essentially what open space initiative is, you say, okay, we're going to keep a lot of lush environment there and not overdevelop it. So then they allow more density.
OSRD, open space residential development.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, because initially without any of that, without MBTA, without the open space, it was going to be 6 mixed mansions right next to the road.
Right.
And that's not what anyone wants.
That's right.
Even the developer. So, it'd be interesting to see what actually happens there.
Sure.
And none of it's going to be affordable, because that's not,
it won't be considered affordable housing. It'll be completely unaffordable, so don't even bother looking into it.
No, that's not what I mean. It's not slated to be all affordable housing, is what I was saying.
It's a private development.
It is, yeah.
So a couple funky ones. 177 State, is that the number?
Yeah, so right next to Domino's Pizza at the Rotary.
Traffic circle.
Traffic circle. Oddly enough, you said it's Newbury and Newburyport?
No. It's actually in Newbury, so I didn't have an opportunity to talk to the town of Newbury and get any preliminary plans, but I will be getting those. But it's a mixed-use building. I was curious what it would be, because as I recall, it has been tried to be developed for many, many years, and I think there were some environmental issues because of what had been there previously.
Right.
So my suspicion...
Was it an auto or something?
Yeah, something dumpy.
Yeah, something dumpy. Yeah.
And so I think that if it is retail and mixed use, there are different rules for developing a former hazardous waste site.
Yeah.
Because no one's living there full time. So
got it.
Yeah, so you're not digging down, but it is an elevated building. It will be retail on the first floor. And I don't know if it's offices or residential above, but the ground floor basically you can't be walking out on that ground and living there and putting your kids out there, right?
Got it.
So that's not that.
And the train station, so.
Yes.
The end of the train, where the train goes to sleep at night, and the cows.
You talking to your 7-year-old?
Yes, and the cows from Tender Crop are behind you. Yes. So it's trains here, cows here.
Not an ideal residential spot.
Not someplace I'd particularly, and then Domino's and Subway.
Well, you'd never starve.
No, and a Dunkin' Donuts.
And your car will be clean.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then a little silly one that is in Amesbury. If you all go by the corner of 110 and Elm Street, there's a black building going up. Mysterious black building.
Oh, right.
Where Friendly's used to be.
Yeah, where Friendly's used to be.
And you know what it is?
It's a Starbucks.
Of course it is.
Which is really interesting because Starbucks just announced that nationwide they're like closing.
Right.
All of these locations. For example, the Steaming Kettle, which is
Yes. In Boston?
In Boston, the iconic Starbucks location right at Government Center.
I didn't realize that was a Starbucks because I don't get to see.
Yeah, well, I used to work at the Starbucks around the corner. They're closing that, and they have closed them with very little notice, and they've just told the employees, well, it's closed as of tomorrow. So it's been really, really horrible.
Yeah.
They're closing about 15 stores in and around Boston alone in the city.
Well, they must have a different plan because I think that this site. It's always referred to as the Golden Triangle.
Yeah.
Because it's the intersection of 95, 495, and 110. So you're getting people from all directions. I would think
a really great location.
If you're
for
on
drive-through.
95 or 495 going someplace and you ask Waze where the Starbucks is,
that's the easiest one.
I'd go there in a heartbeat before I go down to State Street in Newburyport.
Well, or Seabrook, because
Right.
I mean, the Seabrook one's not terrible either. But if you're going to 495 and you're not
But
going up,
this is built for that.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Interesting thing that I heard about the development of newer properties. Because if you think about even the 80s and the 90s where you would have a Pizza Hut and it would look like a Pizza Hut. And then like after it closed, you would know that it used to be a Pizza Hut. Like you can't hide it. The reason why all these buildings, if you look at like a new Taco Bell or a Starbucks, they look very bland,
generic,
and like boxes, is because they want the ability to easily redevelop that property
without tearing it down. Yeah.
In the event that like the business goes out. Like if they have to close the business. So some people feel like it's like you're losing like the charm and character of like it's
the Golden Arches.
Yeah, more whimsical time, I guess, in terms of like silly things like that, like a TGI Fridays,
Right, the branding,
Right, but so it's all. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very convenient Starbucks.
So as you can see, there's a ton happening in our area, and our job is to keep you posted. Because as Rachel said, everybody, when we see them, they say, hey, what's going on with that house on Merrimac Street?
Yeah.
We will keep you posted.
Till next time.
Till next time.